Hello, everybody. Surprise! I'm live. Hello. Okay, you guys are really high up because I want to be able to show you my album. And so I just need to get kind of situated and figure out if you guys are in frame or not. If you are on YouTube, welcome. I am so glad that you're here. You can comment in the comment section. This is going right up after I'm done being live here on Facebook. This will go right up to YouTube. So I wanted to jump on here and share with you guys a look at my album today. And so I was going to do this as a video, but my video camera does not go up high enough. It's not mounted high enough to get the entire frame of my album in. And so I thought I could make my stand that holds my phone, I could make that a little bit higher. And so you guys would maybe get a better look. So that's what we're going to do. So welcome, you guys. I want to show you my Project Life album for last year, for 2021. Now I'm going to be showing you July through December, but basically January through June is the same. It's the same concept. Hi, Linda. Happy New Year. I do the same concept all year long, and I want to share with you the way that you can create a memory keeping album. Mine, again, works January through December, so it's a year-long project for me. I'm just now today getting ready to get my 2022 album set up, which is right here. And so it's very fitting that this is what I kind of do in January. I wrap up last year's album and then I get started on the new year. And so that's what I want to show you today. And I want to just give you guys some tips and some advice on how you can do this yourself. I know that memory keeping can feel very overwhelming, right? And it can feel very like it's not attainable to do a year-long project. But I really believe that once you find a system and some certain things to go back to and to concentrate on, it can become really easy to focus on a year-long project and then at the end of the year have an album that you can look back on. And there's lots of different ways that you can do that. So let's dive in and let me show you. I might need to move my phone stand, it's really heavy, over a little bit so that I can, I'm sorry for the bouncing. Let me see, that's a little bit better. So like I said, this is the second half of my album. Even this, it still doesn't, I'm not up high enough to get it all in frame, but it's a little bit better than what it was. And feel free to ask questions or comment, and I will totally answer comments and questions that you have. And like I said, if you're on YouTube, just leave the questions in the description, in the comments below, and I'll come back and answer them. So what I do is it is a style that is both pocketed pages and then regular scrapbook traditional layouts. And over the years, I've done many different things. I have been doing memory keeping since I I mean, since I was a teen in the 90s, it wasn't as popular then for sure. And I have albums that start yearly at about 2005. And so I've done it through many different stages of life. I've done it when I didn't have any kids. I've done it when having kids. I focus on a album a year, which is like our family album, but it's really like a personal album to me. It's really told from my point of view. And then my kids each have an album as well that I do. And so what I choose to do is 2 albums a year because I do a lot. I do have a lot in there, so I can't get 1 year into 1 album. I wish I could. I really do wish I could. But I've just kind of accepted that it seems like a year fits in 2 albums. This is July through December. And so I do have a title page or a cover page that sort of explains that. You don't have to have that. I just particularly like it. I like to open my album and kind of see a title page. And then the way that I do my documenting is I do it monthly. So what I do is I take 2 Design A page protectors, and I use Becky Higgins page protectors because you can get them in bulk. So I can get a box of 60 of them. And they're a decent price, and they're really good quality. And I like all of my page protectors. I like to have really good quality page protectors, and I like them to match. That's just a personal preference. You don't have to do it that way. But what I do is I take 2 Design A, which is this 2 4x6 photos up top here, 2 on the bottom, and then in the middle we have 3x4 pockets. And I take 2 of those and I sandwich all of my month stuff in between those. So this is the start of July, right? And I have these photos in here, and then I package everything that happens in July in between those 2 4x6 page protectors. I always have a calendar. I usually jot things down that happen throughout the month on my calendar, and then that works as a pocket for me to be able to put cards or memorabilia or receipts or notes. I kind of have this pocket that now can hold those items. And then you will see that I have this is a Design J, and this was the 4th of July. So I did all like some 4th of July photos and like what we did in the 4th of July. And then you see I have a traditional page here with a photo. We were watching, we're big fans of The Rock in this house. We have practically all of his movies, and it was summertime. It was hot. We were having a heat wave. And so we were in, the house with air conditioning, and we were watching, I want to say The Jungle Cruise, but that's not it. Jumanji, that's what we were watching on the TV there. And so I have a traditional page. And then on the back of that, we did some work. We were doing some work in our yard. And so I have this traditional page that holds some photos of some work we were doing in the yard. And I was reading outside, and so I have that. And then there was this. I haven't done my journaling. I'm going to talk about what I need to do to wrap this album up at the very end. But so you're going to see some pieces that are not finished yet. But that's the great thing about doing this. Everything doesn't have to be finished. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I have a system that I've put in place so I can easily go back and get things caught up or do different things with this. And that is a way for me to be able to stay on top of it and not feel like everything has to be perfect all the time. So you'll see I need to go back and do some journaling. And then there's a photo in here. I need to get this printed at 12 by 12 so I can cut it down to 9 by 12 and put it in this pocket. So I just stick the photo in this pocket to remind me that I need to get this photo printed larger. And I'm getting ready to put in a order for some items like that, and I will do that. And that's sort of what I'm doing today. I'm in my studio and I'm going back through this album and I'm figuring out what I need to do to wrap it up, and then what photos I need to get printed. I will do all of my journaling, and then I will set up my new year. So you can see I need some spots here. I need some journaling. This was our county fair. So it like starts here with this very large photo. And then here's some photos of us at the fair. And then my husband and I went to the rodeo. And so I have photos of that. So these are stories that stand out to me in July that I want to highlight. And that's the way that I work my Project Life album. Now, I used to do weekly, and I just did design this design, and each 2-page spread was a week. So then I would do like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's how I did my documenting. I did that for years, and it worked really well for me for many years. But last year I made the change to doing this monthly, where I just take several stories and I highlight them for the month. And that's what I choose to share, because I really wanted to find a way to go back to incorporating more traditional layouts. And you're going to see that more as I go through this. I wanted to be able to incorporate more traditional layouts like this, where I could tell stories and I could do some different things, but still keep up with my yearly project, because I want to have albums that stretch from January to December, and I want to be able to keep up with that. And doing only traditional pages does not allow me to keep up with it. It's too much work. It's too time consuming to do that. And so I'm not able to keep up with it. But just doing the pocketed scrapbooking, where I'm just dropping in photos, isn't really all that creative for me. And so I wanted to find a way to make both of those worlds come together. And so by doing this monthly, I can do that. Each month, I choose a different theme to work with. So in July, I worked with this set of pattern paper that I had on hand. And you can see that I did all of my layouts, all of my monthly pocketed pieces I did with this paper. So then when I go to August, you can see I did something totally different. And I really I'm a very seasonal person. So if it's Christmas, I want to be working with Christmas paper and Christmas stamps and Christmas crafty stuff. If it is fall, it's the same thing. I want fall paper and I want fall stamps, and I want to be using the things that are in my crafty stash that are fall related. And so by picking a new theme each month, I can do that, and it's not stressful. Like, I don't have to figure something out for something different for every layout I do. I'm just picking something for the month. So a lot of the stuff that I used for this month was Allie Edwards from a kit that I get every month from her. And then I also picked some paper. I picked this crafty, I think it was like a Echo Park crafty kit, and that's what I used to go ahead and do my August. Again, I need to do journaling. I haven't done that, but you can see I did my design A, and then I sandwiched some things between that, and I did my calendar. I have my pocket of stuff here, and then I did, again, we were working outside, and so we have some pictures of things that we were doing outside. We had, this is a design G, and so we went to a friend's house, and we had a swim day, and then the kids started school. So the backside of that is the first day of school, and I have this in here. So this, I didn't do anything with this because I haven't done my journaling. So I knew I wanted to use this first day of school, so I just slipped it in the pocket. So when I come back and I do my journaling and my figuring everything out, I can use that piece of chipboard. So then we get into September, and same thing. I even use 6x8 page protectors in my 12x12. One of the things I love about Project Life, and I love about the pocketed page protector like movement, is the way that these page protectors not line up, but they layer together. And I love this. So again, here I need to put some paper. This was Stampin' Up! Paper that I used, Stampin' Up! Pattern paper. And I love that ability to use my designer paper and the things that I'm using from Stampin' Up! In my album. And then you can see, like, I have this 6x8 page protector. Then I have my 8.5x11 calendar This is going to be a layout, a traditional layout I need to go back and do. And then same thing with this, like I want to do a layout here. So I have a 9x12 page protector. And then I have another design G, which you can see I need to put some paper in there and finish this out. And then I have the 12x12. So when you're looking at it and you're flipping through it, it gives you this really fun interactive way of picking up these pages and looking through them and seeing the different stories. And a different way to do it. You have some traditional pages, you have pocketed pages. Again, I'm not worried about going back and doing this. I just need to pull out my paper. I need to stick some in here. I need to do some journaling. It really does not feel stressful to me at all. So that's September. So then when we go into October, you can see it's much more put together because I haven't put my inserts. So I have some photo stacks in here. I have a couple photos of us out at our fire pit. I have a couple photos of Kayla and Esau together there. And then I have these two photos of when I had my I had a cyst that ruptured and I was in the hospital. And then Kayla spent the afternoon with me when I came home. She did her homework out in the living room and did school with me. And I was recovering from being in the hospital. And so these, I need to pull out some page protectors and put in my October. In November, it's kind of the same thing. I need to get some paper out. I have some photos. I want to do a layout with Andrew and I. One of my favorite things to do in November is to watch Curious George. And it's called Boo Fest, and it's the fall Curious George. We've watched this every year since I've had kids. And this year, the only one that wanted to watch it with me was Andrew. The girls are they're getting big. And some of these things that we did when they were kids, they don't want to do anymore. And so I did a picture of Andrew and I watching this. And then I took photos of the screen at different spots. And then I put them into two photos. So I did, two, to one photo, and then I can cut it out. And then I will do a traditional layout with this because it's a memory that I want to spend a little bit more time remembering and documenting. Or I totally could do this in a pocketed page like this. I could totally do that if I wanted. I just happen to want to make this more of a layout. And then you'll see in this one, this is a Ali Edwards page protector, and it's a 9x12. And this is about the shipping crisis and the global shipping situation. So I have a couple photos here of the TV of kind of what it looks like and what is happening. And then I have a friend who was in LA during this time, and it's a little hard to see, but she took a photo. She was on the beach and she took a photo of all the ships out in the water. And so I reached out to her and asked her if I could steal her photo, if I could save it and use it. And she was fine with it. We're friends. So she was like, yeah, absolutely. So that's how I got that photo. And now I can put that in here as a layout, and then I can tell, the story of what's happening. So that's November. And then in December is a little bit different. I haven't done anything with December because I have a lot of traditional layouts in here. So this is the first one that I have that is Christmas related. And then this is the second one. There's a process video on this one here, which I will link when you're on YouTube. I will link it. So if you want to see the process of this, you can. But I need to add that. And then the other thing that I did is in my Project Life app, which I will show you guys here. I did some pages right here that look like this. So I did a countdown and I started here, and then there's photos, and I've already done my journaling. Hopefully you guys can see this. I can't tell now that I'm not on Facebook. I can't see, but I did that for all of them. And actually, these are done. I am actually afraid to, I wonder if I Yeah, see, this one's done. I'm glad it did that. I finished it on my phone. So I was hoping that when I tapped on it, it would update. So I will have these printed 12 by 12, and then I will put them in my December spots here. So those will probably be at the end here, or maybe like I might put one here and then finish them out. But I have some layouts, and then I will also, I may just cut the first one up and put it in the pockets and then do the second one, and then there'll be some layouts and then finish it out. But that will be my December. So let me refresh. So then that will wrap up this album. So what I'm going to spend time today doing is going back and doing all of these little pieces where I need to do journaling, where I need to get paper out, where I need to do some traditional layouts. I will wrap all of that up. I really love doing these flip outs. It's a little bit, this was when we had the fire that was really close to our house, and my husband was driving through, and this was the smoke. And so I took some screenshots, and like, I need to do some journaling with this. But again, it's not stressful when you have a system. Like, that's the thing that I really want to express to you guys, is that when you have a system set up to do your project, whatever it is, if it's a year-long project, or if you're doing, like, if you're just documenting a month, I document December daily. When you're doing that and you have a system to go back to, it becomes not stressful, and it becomes a space where you can dive in and really get your project done or not feel overwhelmed by it. So I want to catch up on some comments here. Julie said, I still love that calendar, the font and the style. I've been looking on Etsy, but I haven't found what I wanted. I'll keep looking. Well, if you just search calendars, this is the one I'm using for this year, and it's free. I literally just searched 2022 free printable calendar, and this was literally the first one that came up, and it's very similar, if not exactly the same as, it's not exactly the same. This one's a little bit bigger, and it has the year on it, but it's very, very similar, and I literally did that by just searching. All I searched was 2022 free printable calendar, and it came up. And I have a membership group. It is called Simply Documented. It is $10 a month, and I do all of this stuff in that membership group, and I linked my calendars that I got. I give all of that information out. So if anybody is interested and they need a little bit more help, that's what we do. Like, in that group is I really dive in and I help you guys do that. I provide all the links so you don't have to spend time on Google looking. But it is $10 a month. So there's that. I will leave a link in this if anybody wants more information on that. And then Roberta said, your countdown pages are great. I loved doing those countdown pages. That was really fun. Again, I like to incorporate things from the app, from the Project Life app. I love putting in traditional layouts. Doing the pockets helps me stay current, and it helps me not feel stressed out about it. So that I loved doing the countdown pages, and I will get those printed directly from the Project Life app, and I will stick them in my pages. And that is on top of my December daily album. That's why I did the countdown for December, is because I already have a whole mini album of all of the things that we did in December. Linda said, what a great system. That is my goal, is to have a really good, solid system that I can come back to. And I have recently, in this last year, I've really gotten to a place where I really want to be able to do more traditional layouts like this. I just loved the way this came out. I loved doing this. And you can see that they're kind of different. You know, this was about the yard. This was about a sunset. This was about being inside. but I was able to be creative and do that when I had a little bit more time. But back here, towards, October and November, when things are a little bit crazier, like this, I won't have any traditional layouts in October. I literally will just have these in pockets because I just didn't have a lot of time or energy or space to be doing traditional layouts. But then I can jump right back into that into December, and everything fits really well in here. And I love having them. So I will have on my website, when I get this to YouTube, I'll get this uploaded to YouTube. And then on my website, I will have a blog post, and I will be sharing on that blog post my top 5 tips for you to create a system or keep a system happening. And I will also have in the YouTube description below and on my website a link to print out my ultimate guide to documenting. It has lots of different, I should have had it handy for me to share with you guys. It is just a document that has a place for you to keep track of photos. It has a design A that is blank if you want to plan things out. It has a idea for a photo a day, all the way from January through December. If you struggle with taking photos or knowing what to take, it gives you ideas for that. And on Fridays now, I will be sharing, it will be all document related. So I will be doing traditional layouts with you. I will be putting my Project Life album together with you. I will be showing you different mini albums and different things that I'm doing. And all of that coincides with my membership group. It's literally only $10 a month because I didn't want it to be expensive where people felt like they couldn't join, but also I need to be compensated for my time and my energy that goes into that. So that seemed like a really perfect balance. And I would love for you guys to come over and be a part of that. So let me show you my album this year. Again, I'm working through this and I'm going to get this all wrapped up this weekend. And there will also be photos on my website of that album. This year, I'm changing the color of my album. I'm going from using this aqua colored album to going to this mint colored album. And that is simply because it's hard to find the aqua albums. They always seem to be out of stock now. And this mint color, I guess, maybe is more popular. So I will start using this. I already have both of my albums for the year. So I have that. And then yesterday in my membership group, what we did is we talked through January and what my thought processes and what I want to do. And then we set this album up. I will be doing my title page. I actually got the product that I need to do that. So my title page will be a full 12 by 12 page, and then probably this here. And then I have my calendars in for this year. Again, these were free calendars that I just found on Google. I didn't pay for them. I just Googled and found the calendar. And then I have a divider. So I have the calendar and then the divider that I'm going to go ahead and use this year. And then each month has 2 design A's. And I will set up January with some foundation stuff and February with some foundation stuff. And I'll do that in our membership group so that I am kind of ahead of the game. I like doing foundation pages in my Project Life family album because it's just helpful for me to pop in a few things and like have a direction. I pick out my theme or my pattern paper, my designer paper, whatever I'm going to use. I usually pick out for 3 months, and I set up like pretty much 3 months in advance so that I can just drop in my photos or I can just focus on doing my traditional pages. And so each month has the design A, and then everything will be sandwiched in between. And then as things start to fill up, I will eventually move July through December to the other album. I like to have a little bit of stuff in here. It makes the album stand up a little bit. It makes it easier to create in. So I do have that. And then I also, in the back, I always stick a few page protectors so that I don't have to dig around for page protectors in where organize my page protectors. I have a few back here so that when I'm working, I can just grab a few in the back. It's just those little things that really help you to stay in the mode of like creating when you sit down to create. You don't have to get up and go dig through page protectors and try to find them. You can just grab it, and it just helps the flow, your workflow with your album. So this is my 2022 album, and I am always excited to get started with a fresh album and dive in. It just feels like so many wonderful possibilities are in front of us with a brand new album, and I can't wait to get it filled. And I really cannot wait to get this year's 2021. I can't wait to get that wrapped up. The first part of my album, January through June, is wrapped up. All of the journaling is done. All of the pictures are in. Like, I've done all of that. I do that in like July. When I go into a new album, then I go back and I make sure the first part of my album is finished up. If there's any loose ends, I go ahead and do that. And then I just wait until, like, there's no way I'm going to do that in the middle of December when it's crazy, right? Like, it's just crazy to think that you're going to have the time or the energy or the brain space to like deal with a memory keeping project in the middle of December. So I always just don't worry about it. And in January, when I get my new album and I start to get that set up, I wrap up the second year and I get it all done. And then I know like that's finished, and I can move on. And sometimes it might take me all of January to do that. I've wrapped up my last year's album the very last week of January, or a little bit into February. I just like to put a little bit of a time constraint on it for myself, so it just gets done. And I just like to feel like by the end of January, everything's wrapped up in this album and I move on to my next album. So I can't wait to share this stuff with you guys as I'm going through and doing this. If you have any questions or you need help with specific projects, or you want to get started with a year-long album, please let me know. Leave a comment in the YouTube description or here on Facebook, and I will help you do that, because my first love for crafting has always been and will always be memory keeping. Everything else I do is just because it's fun and I like to do it, but memory keeping is my heart's desire. It is my passion. It is what I love doing, and it is when I am the happiest is when I am crafting, when it's memory keeping related. So I hope that you guys have a good Friday. Again, I will put this right on YouTube and there'll be a blog post up by the end of the day. And I look forward to sharing this process with you guys and hearing where you're at with memory keeping. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will chat with you guys again next week when I will be back with new projects for you guys. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.